Yeah. Listen, we found a bunch of ways to win during the season. Every game kind of stood alone, but many of them came down to third quarter, fourth quarter, second half type comebacks where, and it took everybody, and it took maybe a big play on defense or a big play on offense or a big play on special teams to kind of turn the tide. But they were all great team victories, and looks like that's carried over into the playoffs. Obviously, we didn't start this game the way that we wanted to. They jumped out to a 14-point lead. But, listen, we were calm, we were poised. We knew we were going to get things going, but obviously had to do that quickly. We were able to narrow the gap 14-10 at halftime, and then I think the turning point was really that 23-play drive in the third quarter that lasted 11 and a half minutes and kind of took us from our own 8-yard line to get a touchdown. I was just told that we actually gained 117 yards on that drive. I'm not sure if that's a record because of the penalties that kept setting us back. And so, yeah, we went on a 117-play drive, or a 117-yard drive in the third quarter to take the lead, and then really didn't look back. I think that was the turning point in the game. I think the crowd was with us all day. They were awesome. Dome field advantage, but defense played phenomenal as well, and we made enough plays down the stretch to get the win.
Particularly that drive, you have a trust with a receiver, unlike Mike Thomas, with another guy that you can.
I mean, I've been very fortunate to have played with some great ones, and you spend a lot of time together to develop that trust, that confidence, that chemistry, and but it takes time on task. And we've had a run with some great ones here in New Orleans, but obviously over the last 3 years with Mike, I've just got so much trust and confidence in him. And what you see on game day is what I see in practice every day. It's not like the guy just turns it on for game day. He practices that way every day in practice. So that same intensity, attention to detail, that fire, passion, competitive drive. So we try to put ourselves in those moments in practice, and then when game day shows up and we're making those same plays, it's no surprise to us, and certainly it's no surprise to anybody on this team to watch him do what he's been able to accomplish this year and what he was able to do today. He's a big-time player who wants to be the guy to make the plays when you need him most, and he did that today. Well, I think there's certainly an argument. Listen, there's a lot of great wide receivers in this league, but certainly he deserves to be in the conversation.
Did they double him less in this game?
Yeah, they're you go back to the first time we played them here, and I think it was a much different game plan with how they were handling him, and we just had to be patient. Other guys made plays, and then finally his opportunities kind of came towards the end of that game. But it was a bit of a different approach today. For one reason or another, there were times where he was getting, more attention than others. But I'd say for the most part, it was, you just had to pick and choose your moments. But felt like there was more opportunities today.
Did the fake punt surprise you?
The fake punt?
Did that surprise you all? What do you think that did for the direction of the game?
Well, we converted 2 fourth downs on that drive in order to go down and get our first touchdown of the game, right? So that was huge. Again, a special teams play that continues to drive and allows us to go down and get points. Just felt like we had a good play, and sure enough, we got the look that we wanted and got the touchdown. Yeah. Well, they're calculated risks. It's not like we're just flying by the seat of our pants out there. It's these are things that we talk about. These are conversations that we have. Critical situations. How's the team playing us? How's the tempo of the game going? I think we all felt like, we needed 7 there. And again, if you don't have a play you like, you don't go for it. But you have a play you like, you go for it. Make it happen.
Can you talk a little about that third and 16 play, how big that was?
Was that at the end of the game there, or the last drive, or which one? Oh, the one to Mike. Yeah, it was a huge play. Unfortunately, we had a bunch of penalties that set us back, a couple holding calls and some other stuff that just, really put us behind the chains. But that was a big play by him, kept that drive going, and again, turning point in the game, that drive, just to, 23 plays, and to possess it for 11 and a half minutes, it's pretty much the entire third quarter, but got us the lead, which I think to be down 14 and now all of a sudden to take the lead in the third quarter, that was just a huge momentum shift and the tipping point.
What do you attribute to the number of penalties during the 117-yard
Drive? Well, I'm trying to think what all of them were. I think we had a couple holding calls, both on run plays and pass plays, and so it's just fundamentals, attention to detail. Listen, they're a great pass rush too. So they got some guys that could rush the passer. And
I'm taking it back for you to start first quarter. It seemed like both sides of the ball.
yeah, listen, that's not the way we want to start. So call it what you want. I'm not here going to say, hey, the 3 weeks off and all that stuff. I mean, listen, we had to get some guys healthy. That was the most important thing. But that's not the way we wanted to start. But to overcome that, I think is the story here.
Drew, in 2009, you had some big interceptions that saved games in the postseason. Today, just what Marshawn did, especially
Yeah.
on that last drive.
Yeah.
the wrong way.
Well, man, I feel like our defense on a couple occasions this year, has come up with some big turnovers at some critical times that were huge plays in the game, either sealed the deal or set up game winners. So they deserve a ton of credit. Obviously, Marshawn, I know the first interception I think he makes, and then we take that, we go down and score after that drive or on that drive. That was a great individual effort there. And then at the end of the game, just listen, if you're in the right place at the right time, good things happen. So when you talk about coaching defensive football, you talk about population of the ball, you're talking about eyes on the quarterback and just being in the right place, at the right time. And he was definitely that today.
Based on breaks happening in football, you guys had one lucky one last year in Minnesota.
Yeah.
You get one today. You feel like you're playing this game all the time. You feel like those kind of things eventually even up, or?
I just know this. If you do things the right way long enough, good things happen, right? And you play this game long enough, you're going to be a part of some crazy stuff. You're going to be on the winning side of some of that crazy stuff, and you're probably going to be on the losing side of some of that crazy stuff. Unfortunately, losing side last year. Fortunately, winning side this year.
Back in an NFC Championship game, do you let yourself appreciate that just a little bit right now?
A lot of work to do. So certainly very appreciative. Love the opportunity that we have to play that game here in front of our home fans. We've always said it, the regular season just puts you in a position to have this opportunity, right? Got a great team coming to town, right? And you go back to our regular season matchup with those guys, just had a feeling that, obviously I knew what our goals were, and we hoped to be in this position, and I had a feeling that they would be as well. So they're a great football team that has had an incredible season, and obviously this should be a great football game.
4 teams are left down the league, and the 4 high-scoring teams in the NFL this season. How indicative of that is that to you of how the season has been played and how the game was played as a whole?
That's an interesting stat. I think there's some. Well, you gotta score points to win, but you gotta stop people to win too. And so I think that certainly the defenses deserve to be talked about as well. But playoff football is what we all aspire to have the opportunity to play. And you look at both sides of the bracket, AFC, NFC. It's the 1 and 2 seeds, right? So I think in many cases it's probably the guys that everybody thought would be here for one reason or another. We're grateful that we have this opportunity and look forward to the week of preparation to get ready for these guys.
Hey, Drew, sometimes in a big game like this, big stakes, it's human nature for players, coaches to play not to lose, kind of tighten up.
Mhm.
What is it about Sean that is the reason for that, seems like, and how much do y'all feed off of that winning?
Yeah, it's it's that play to win mentality. It's that aggressive mentality. You know, I've been with Sean long enough now to say that he's always been like that. You know, from '06 until now, I think he's just. I think it's something that he knows that the offense and the team feeds off of. You know, it's just like calling the onside kick in the Super Bowl, right? Ambush. It was not a matter of if we were going to call it, it was when, right? And so when you just get that in guys' minds that, hey, we are going to be aggressive, we are going to play to win, it allows guys to relax and cut it loose. And I know he puts a lot of trust in me, you know, when we do dial that stuff up to make good decisions, and if it's not there, we check it down, we'll come back and call it again. But just that whole mentality of, hey, we're going to fake a punt, or we're going to, you know, kick an onside kick, or whatever it might be, it definitely develops a mindset amongst our team.
Drew, we're used to seeing some maybe short and intermediate routes with Taysom Hill. What is the deep shot call to?
Well, I'm mad at myself. I waited too long to see it before I threw it. I should have just, you know, I felt him running by the guy. But, yeah, you know, Taysom, he's our Swiss Army knife. He can do a little bit of everything. I'm bummed that they took a touchdown away from him, because that was a great throw to Alvin and really a great design play. And what's even more impressive is he had run that little post the play before that. So, you know, sprints 60 yards down the field, sprints back, and then throws a 50-yard touchdown to Alvin that gets called back. And that was part of our 117-yard drive. But, yeah, he's a stud. He's a stud.
Drew, at the end of that drive, did you even bother accelerating with Mike, or did you just go back to the sideline? I noticed a lot of guys just didn't even bother accelerating.
Oh, everybody was gassed. I mean, I wasn't gassed. I wasn't blocking or hitting or having to catch any balls, but no, that was a fulfilling drive. I mean, that was, man, when you can, number one, those were the points that gave us the lead and then allowed us to maintain the lead, you know, thereafter. But 23 plays, you know, 117 yards, 11 and a half minutes off the clock. You know, that just was the tipping point. It turned the tide in that whole game, and I think, you know, from that point on, we knew everything after that was just building a lead.
Drew, you kind of touched upon it, but you played on some really good teams since the Super Bowl. It's taken 9 years to get back to this point. Does that just speak to how difficult it is?
Yeah, it is. It is. And there's a lot of good football teams out there, a lot of great players, a lot of great coaches, and every year is a little bit different, right? We've gotten close. We've had a couple other moments where I thought we'd be back here, but yeah, it just goes to show how difficult it is, and so we certainly appreciate that opportunity.
Going back to that long drive, I think on that third down play, Michael Thomas, you had so many yards you could have ran the ball. Did you ever think about it for 1 second?
Running?
Yes.
Well, if you just look at the odds, right? If you were in Vegas and you were saying, what are the chances if I took off and ran that I get that first down? I would say 0.5% chance of getting that. Whereas if I throw it to Mike Thomas, the odds probably go up to 60, 70%. So I'm no dummy, but it sounds like the throw it to Mike Thomas odds are a little bit better.
Drew, a week from today against the Rams, 7 days from now, what does a game like that, I know it's early, come down to when it comes down to it?
Say that one more time.
What, a week from today when we face the Rams,
Yeah.
what will that game, this early in your mind, think it will come down to?
Listen, it always comes down to execution. It always comes down to, you know, blocking, tackling, making good decisions, taking advantage of opportunities when you get them. Listen, they're a really good football team. We knew that when they came in here mid-season, and like I said, I had a feeling that we'd be seeing these guys again. Obviously, we aspired to be here. They aspired to be here, and so here we are.
Not one like about that, but do you feel like you guys are going to have to start a lot better, play a lot better in the beginning? You can't do this against.
Yeah, there's no question. There's no question. Yeah. While we are excited to be moving on and have the opportunity to host the NFC Championship game here, not a ton of satisfaction for me, and I think for a lot of guys, as to the way that, we started this game and the way we played at times. It's going to need to be a lot better. And we expect that of ourselves. We've expected that the entire season. And it all comes down to the work week and the preparation that goes into it. But I love our team. I love the way we battle. And we'll be ready.
Teron Armstead, he held up well today?
Yeah. I think he held up great.
Sure, you had more time in the pocket, in my opinion, in the second. What do you attribute that to? It looked like you were.
Well, I think everything was a little bit better in the second half. I think once we got our feet underneath us and we just started playing better football, better execution. When you can sustain drives, you typically begin to wear down a defense a little bit, and maybe they don't have quite as much juice rushing the passer as they did, if in the first couple plays of the drive. All right, guys. Thanks.